Hello, guys. We almost got a fight.
It's Tabo and
No see,
the Disturber.
Yo, we
Welcome to our
almost fought.
channel.
Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for your likes and thank you so much for subscribing up to this far. We can see you on the comments. Thank you. We love you. Yes,
Yeah, and
love.
the numbers are growing in terms of
Yes.
subscribers. Yeah, we are honored. That means we are making an impact on somebody's life. So, our topic today will be financial fitness with regard to family, siblings, um, what one should be looking at, and how we go about what are the limits, what are the boundaries, and stuff
Yes.
like that.
And if this is black text.
Yeah, there is no black text in my view.
But we will see if there is black text or not.
Yes.
Yes. Love, are you obliged to support your parents and your family at large, family being siblings and everyone? What is our take on this?
In my view, as an African man, we are obliged to support our families. Um, Looking at the fact that in our country, in South Africa, we've got a high rate of unemployment,
Yes.
and we've got a lot of our young ones, our siblings, even our elders, who are unemployed, who are actively seeking for jobs and are unable to get jobs, and then who need to also have a living. They need to survive.
Yeah.
So, in my view, we need to be supportive to them.
But on my view is that we need to support them, but we need to support them on something that is leading them towards their own independence. I don't have to give I don't have to give them grocery money each and every month, because groceries, we know that it's more of a expenditure, it's a waste. But I can support them towards education, for instance, a certain course, so that one day they can stand on their own. So yeah, I think that's how our views
Differ.
they don't differ per se, but I'm trying to be specific. I'm trying to be specific. Okay, for my mom, because I only have my mom as a parent who's still alive, for my mom, I can make exceptions based on her condition of health and something like that. But only if I can afford, you know. What is very important, what we want to address on this one is that as a young person, you maybe, let's say you start working at 25 years and then you have kids, don't spend all of your years helping your family.
Exactly.
Yeah, don't spend your whole life buying them expensive furniture, build them an expensive house. The reason being that your kids are growing. As they are growing up, that house is going to be overpopulated, for example. They will never have their own home or something. Worst case scenario is when you pass away, some cruel aunts are going to kick out your kids. So it's very important that you build them a separate house. I'm not that cruel. I will never kick some people. Why are you looking at
No,
me
no,
like
no, I'm
this?
not looking at that. It actually triggered me. My story that you disturbed me on.
Oh, okay.
Eh,
Oh, the earlier one. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, let me finish.
Yeah, I know you are. I'm not disturbing you.
But with me, you know, I can multitask. You can talk, I can still
Multitask.
continue. Yes. All right. So what I'm trying to say is that be clever. Life is evolving. It's no longer like the olden days whereby we have a big yard, 2,000 square meters, where we can all stay in one yard. Nowadays, we can't stay in one house, like maybe for a family of more than 6. So what I'm saying is that what worked for me, so that's why I will say what I'm saying, because I know this method worked. Build your parents a house only when you can afford. If you can't afford, don't do it. Don't go out and take a bond and pay for your parents to stay there. That comes with a lot of risks. The risk number one in taking a bond is that you will lose your job, because we know the economy is not stable anymore. and they will all lose their homes. Two, you will get married and your financial requirements will change and you will not afford. Chances that your house will
Repossessed.
be repossessed is high. Three, don't move your parents from Elalini in the villages, Emakaya, and bring them here in town because you are going to spend a lot of money. In the cities, we pay rates, we pay everything we pay. Unlike in the villages, we don't pay. As I speak at home, they are not paying for water, they are not paying for any rates, they only buy electricity. So don't try don't give yourself a lot of challenges. Make life simple. If it's a 4-room house and the roof is leaking, why don't you just fix the roof than demolishing the whole house and building a mayaba yaba, like a posh house? The reason being that as you are working, if maybe you've taken a loan and you are paying it over 10 years, you are 25 at that age, you'll be 35. Your firstborn maybe will be 8 years. When are you going to start to build your own house? What is your take on this?
Yeah, it is actually dangerous to take a home loan to build for your parents. Rather, buy and build, and then maybe take a home loan for yourself. Because what happens is that a home loan normally it is a debt for 20 years or 15 to 20 years or 30 years. And now you spend your 20 years of your life paying off the debt that you've put your parents to stay comfortably in, which is a good thing and a good gesture. However, what we are not looking at is that if it happens now, you start your own family, you get married, will you still be able to sustain that? Will you still be able to pay the loan of that house? And then will you bring your spouse into that setup? Because as soon as you bring in your spouse there, and then there will be a lot of tough wars because your mother, as a woman, will be fighting your spouse, feeling that this is her place and this woman must take orders from her and stuff like that. We need to be careful of that. So our families, as soon as we do that, they get the spirit of entitlement that this is our house, Gugiti Lana, like one of the shows on TV says. And then it happens that God remembers you. You now have 2 kids, and then when you've got those 2 kids, the house is now in the name of your father or your mother, and then they too have other children, and your siblings have got children. They're all in that same setup. When you pass away, your children have got no home, technically, because so they won't have. I know of a story which was really interrupted by her of this brother who was he was a good, caring, a family man. He did his best for his family. So he did everything for his parents, buying everything, furniture, food, clothing his brothers and sisters. He was the breadwinner. Clothing his children, her children, their children, his brothers, his siblings, whatever. It was a mess. It was a mess. A massive family depending on one breadwinner. So his family, his house is nice. When I'm saying his house, his parents' house was a nice place. He built it, and he had a plan that as soon as he's done with this, then he's gonna go out and then start his own family. He was even looking for stands in better places, with the plan of moving to those places. Um, Unfortunately, sickness came. He got sick. He couldn't work anymore. He lost his job. Eventually, he lost his life.
Oh,
His
so
wife
sad.
stays with his parents. You know what? It never lasted. The relationship never lasted.
Yeah.
His wife was kicked out.
Yes.
His children are now left home. However, even though the children are there, they know that it's not their home, it's their grandmother's home. they have no claim of whatsoever on that estate. So to be prepared, it's best that you start maybe building 2 rooms, and then later on you add another 2 rooms. You add another 2 rooms until you build the house that you want for your parents. And then for yourself, you can take a loan and then you take a life cover. So that in case you pass away, then the life
It
cover
can
will settle.
cover,
And especially, I'm not advertising this bank, but I've seen their product, and I wish I could rejoin them. Standard Bank has got a life cover for the house, so
Yeah.
that if you are in a joint bond like we are, if any of the spouses pass away, and then that joint bond insurance will then kick in and cover the whole thing, and then the house is settled. So please look for, there are many insurance providers that provide such kind of services, so I would like to advise you to check them as well. You might get something that works for you. It's only the one that I know is Standard Bank. So there are other banks, I think they also can do that as well, where they cover for in case you pass away and then your children are not left in the dark out there. So please make sure that you inquire about such things and then you pay. It's not too much. If you check the safety of your life, because I've seen, as you've seen, the other issue whereby there was a life cover, I won't say names, as I'm very afraid of being sued, where the life cover was not prepared to pay after the person has passed on due to illness. So he actually was made instead of the illness, but then they came with the story and stuff like that. So to avoid such things from happening, if you've got that kind of a life cover whereby it stays, it's only there with an aim of covering you in the event that you fail to pay. If you fail to pay because of death, and then it settles your debt, and then your children are left with a home. I think that is very important. I think one should just maybe contact these different banks as well as these insurance providers to get that kind of an insurance, just to cover that. It is a risk that one cannot easily avoid because death is unpredictable.
Okay, just to add on, with Standard Bank, you don't have to get an additional life cover. Yes, paying that bond comes with an insurance, of which is a death benefit. Yes, yeah. That's it. Because I've also seen a lot of older people in our area at home where they were working hard building their parents' homes, but then now they have kids and their power, or I don't know, they can't do more money like before. Now they are struggling to build their kids' home. So it's very, very important that you sit down with your parents, you tell them what you can do and what you cannot do. Don't allow pressure. Pressure is killing a lot of people in South Africa. We know so many famous or artist people have died because of the pressure that they get from their families. It's very important that you sit with mommy and tell mommy, I know that your friend has a Tuscan house, for example, but I can't build you a Tuscan house. I'm going to change these 4 sheets so that the roof don't leak. That's all. Let's not go over what we can afford. It's very important for our mental health. Stress is really depression is real, and once you suffer such, you will spend years trying to get back to your life. That's all. Thank you so much.
Yes, I'm not done.
You're not done. You sit, Darren.
You see, we started by talking about black tax. I personally do not view that as being black tax. It is a responsibility as an African child, knowing we as black people where we come from. What I'm saying is that never overexert yourself on such things. Try to get a fair balance. So by getting a fair balance, I'm saying if you've got your siblings who are younger than you and you are the breadwinner and they are dependent on you, you can take a study, what is that study thing, Lavo? Educational plan. You can pay it while they are still young, so that by the time when they reach the age whereby they need to go to the tertiary institution, you know that you've got the educational plan and it will kick in and it will pay for all the fees and all the books and stuff like that. You only had to buy clothes for them to go to school. That is teaching a man how to fish. It is very important. Also, at home, when you are providing for them, try to see if there is nothing that they can sell to
It's very
supplement
important.
what you are doing on a month-to-month basis. I'm not saying stop supporting your family. Do support your family. However, get something that they can sell. Can be tomatoes. It can be some that little, so that to sustain them during the month. Because I know even if you're giving them the money, 2,000 rand per month, for example, it's not sufficient to cover
Everything,
nowadays needs. They are very, very many and they are very expensive. So you also need to provide them with that, so that they are able to stand on their own too. I know many you feel like you are abusing them, but it's not abusing them. You are training them so that they don't have too much expectation.
Yeah.
For example, if you're not married, as soon as when you are to get married, they will start hating on your spouse because they were so dependent on you, and then they're not expecting that to stop. So, but if you are making them independent, they can sell cigarettes. They can sell, yes, they can. Yes, it's unhealthy, but people.
Yeah, like
I'm saying things
anything.
that sells quick, that will not frustrate them, because if I say sell perishable stuff and then if it doesn't go within a week and then it's out, then you need to restock them. But then with cigarette, it doesn't expire. With alcohol, alcohol takes too long to expire. It's stuff like that they can be able to sell to the people out there, and then to make a living. I think it can make a huge difference. Or you can buy milli and then they can sell milli does not expire, and then it can be sold. Something that they can make a living, something that can provide that little bit of income for them, while they're waiting for your salary at the end of the month. Because at the end of the day, when you are married, you will have double the expectations, and then you will have double expenditure. And if they are 100% dependent on you, you won't be able to cope, and then you will start saying it's black tax, whereas it's not black tax. Maybe it's not properly planned way. So try to plan it out before you get married, so that your family is not starting to hate your spouse, to say, ever since this one came in and then we are now hungry. That is why you end up seeing other mothers-in-laws. Men normally don't do that, mothers-in-laws and sisters-in-laws starting to hate at their one spouse, and then they say, ever since this one came in, he's spending our brother's money, or spending my sister's money, he's surviving through my sister, because there are women out there who get paid more than us as men, and then they too are breadwinners in their homes and they are providing to their homes, and then that frustrates you guys financially at the end of the day, because now she still has her heart and her eyes focusing on her home while she's married to you, and then now you both working but you're still struggling. It's because most of the money still goes back home. She's still depositing home. And also that what is important is that don't have secrets. There is no secrets in such stuff. If you are sending 2,500 rand to your mom or your paps or whoever that you're sending to your brother, your little brother and stuff, let it be known to your spouse, and it should be a transparent thing. There's nothing that should be hidden, because as soon as there are secrets, it's a breeding ground for quarrels, for arguments, and then at the end of the day, you might even end up in a divorce, and you will feel like your spouse is making you choose between your family and him or her, or whatever it may be the case. So it is very important that, for example, with me, I tell my wife knows, I send something for my sister's kids, and I go with her to see my sister's kids. I buy them snacks and stuff like that. If they need food, I do buy food. If they need a heater, I buy a heater. If they need anything that they want, I do buy it. And I even borrow money from her to give it to me. And the same applies to her.
Can I have my money back?
Yes.
Because you just borrow, you never borrow.
No, I borrow money. Why must I pay you back? Because you are my wife. But so Zali, this is my kid. And I'm her kid as well. So Yeah, for example, she had the wish when she was at school to build her mom a house. As a husband, as a loving husband or as a spouse, do not stand between your spouse's family and your spouse wishes. If she wishes to assist at home, be of assistance as well. Stretch the hand. Be open-minded. Assist her. If your family is well off, and
Yeah,
you
that's
you,
it's a very
you can
difficult thing.
yes, you can stretch your hand and assist so that this whole process then is concluded quickly, and you can both focus on your lives. So it's not wrong, it is not black tax, it is love for our parents. I'm not saying become bomma, no, don't be bomma, but take care of your parents, but do not get into debt. Do not take a
That is
credit
important.
or spend your credit your credit card on your parents, because you will be spending the next 5 years trying to pay off that credit card, and then it's affecting your progress as a couple. Because yes, out there there's competition. There are friends. There are her friends too. They bought something and she would like to have it as well, or she would like something better, and then now because you have taken a loan of 50,000
You
rand, and then
can't.
now you're stuck in it, you can't get out of it for the next 5 years, and then she needs to postpone her happiness. So also what is important is that plan trips at least once a year, if not twice in a year. uh, I'm not saying trips you go to your mom or you go to your fathers or go to family. No, a neutral venue trips, romantic trips, revive the spirit of being in the
Wait, no man.
relationship. It is important. There's a lot of stress in life, and life is too short. We might say
Enjoy
you want to
yourselves.
save. Yes, enjoy yourselves. You might say you want to save and will go after 20 years. What if on the 15th year, after having saved for 20 years, and then you pass away, she now takes the money and enjoys it with another man? You understand? She will have new memories with another man when you've passed on. So it is very important that at least your goals should be at least a maximum of 1 year, and then you'll be happy. You'll be happy together. So there is nothing as black tax if you've got love for your siblings, you've got love for your family. I think this is the end of our show. Have a lovely day. I don't know if you want to close it, love.
It is
Quick.
black tax if you don't groom them. Make sure that you develop them so that they can stand on their own. Otherwise, you'll pay it for the rest of your
Ciao.
life.
Bye bye.